Hey guys, welcome to the Jen Lowry Writes Show. And today I've got some crazy, exciting new developments that I cannot wait to share with you. And so this one's going to be very unique because I get to talk with you about my process of starting something brand new. Hey, so good to have you here. Oh, I love your little emotes. They're so cute. So today I was going to talk about an editing strategy where you work backwards. One of my friends has a wife who's an author. I have so many author friends, guys. My community, I love you guys. And they're like, you know what, Jen, this really works for her. I know you're editing right now, and I'm doing a horror middle grades. Hey, Tish. So Tish knows. Tish knows the deal, what's going on today. So I'm in the middle of editing a middle grade horror comedy. So what we do in the shadows is absolutely amazing, but that is definitely not for a middle grades audience. So imagine creating a comedy series for kids that is absolutely hilarious, but it also has like teachable type lessons all in it. So that's what I've been working on. I love comedy. I love horror, especially horror. So I'm like, I can just mesh both of those worlds together. So I've already written the book. It's complete. I've already went through 3 rounds of edits. So my friend was like, why don't you do like what my wife does? And she starts from the back of the book and she goes backwards. And it really helps her determine whether or not she has, oh, physics lectures. Hey, that counts. Welcome. This is a great writing place to be. So have you ever worked from the back of a book and moved with your editing? Like, I've never done it before, and he swore by it. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to work with my summer vacation. So I was like, I'm going to set a goal, and I'm really going to stay with this book. But I've already went 3 rounds with it, and maybe this is a way. What happened today is for me to take a break from that because I've already done these 3 rounds of edits, remove myself from the book, and start a new project. And that's what happened today. So I want to talk with you now, not just about that strategy that I had made the thumbnail on and I said that's what I was going to do, but in the author world, guys, there's no scripts. Like, I have my journal beside me and I put down, yes, I could talk about these things in future episodes because I think all content creators need to have that. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I start from the beginning and go. And then I did what Kate DiCamillo, I don't know if you know her, she's Because of Winn-Dixie. She's written The Three Rancheros. She's, oh my gosh, she's my favorite author. The Tale of Despereaux. So she gave me some words of wisdom, and I so respect her. And her words of wisdom was, you write your book and then you walk away from it, and a couple of weeks later you come back to it and you rewrite your book. And at first I thought that was absolutely the craziest sounding thing because I didn't want to have to do that, honestly. I was like, no, I just want to edit what I have. I love my little story. But when I did that, it was an amazing process, and that really worked for me. And the story is 10 times better. And the rule was you move away from it, you go back in and you rewrite, and then you don't read what you previously wrote. You already have the story living in your head. So I just used a Jamboard to outline everything out. I don't know if you guys use Jamboard. But I used Jamboard as just an organizational tool. It's free with Google products. And I sticky noted myself outlines, not because I knew where the story was headed. And I just rewrote the whole thing. And I got to 23,000 words on that middle grades horror comedy. Absolutely, I'm so in love with it. And so I thought I was going to do this work backwards strategy today. Like, it's my first day of summer. And so I was like, you know what? I'll try it. So that way, when I go back to school next year, I can talk to my teacher friend and I can say, you know what? Your wife is amazing. That strategy worked. Or I can say, you know what? Your wife is amazing. Thanks for giving me that opportunity to try a new strategy. It might not have worked for me, but I'm sure there could be authors out there that do it and might like it. And so that's what I'm all about. I'm all about trying new things. So today, I want to tell you guys, I was on a write-in with Tish Bouvier. She is on here with us in the chat. Hey, Tish. And so Tish was doing a write-in really early this morning. I followed Tish's channel and I got the notice that she was up. So I kind of woke up without coffee. And I was like working on my thumbnail. I was like, you know what? I'm going to edit today. And I made my goal without coffee. That lets you know, yep, it was early and I was with you guys. And I was like, I made my thumbnail on Canva. Oh, you don't know anybody else that writes or with your take? Oh, hugs to you. You know no one who writes physics lectures. I'm sorry, I don't. Oh, hugs. Start your own club. Do it. Reach out to the community. I bet you can find people who have similar interest in you. That's what I do. Yes, we will wrap you and embrace you with love. And you gave us a good one too. Look at this one. We need to go write this down. The Pleasure of Finding Things Out. The Best Short Works of Richard Feynman. I'm writing it down. Guys, always keep a journal beside you. Get some computer paper if you don't have a journal. Make yourself a scrapbook. Seriously. Take a screenshot. Hey, I've got like 5,000 pictures on my phone. I'm keeping it in my journal though. I love book recommendations. All right, we've had time to write down this book. Thanks a lot. So I left the writing club really inspired, really motivated. And that's why I think these write-ins are important for author community, just to encourage, but also to get like a fire under us. And that's what happens to me every time I'm around my author friends and I'm in this community and I'm like, you know what? I am focused now and I'm ready to write. So I have benefited greatly from this. Trust me, it's really helped keep me on point. So I left Tish's group. So thanks, Tish. That's a shout out to you. I left Tish's group and I want to share my screen because I want to tell you how I wanted to start my day off. Here on my channel, I always like to show you guys things that I do in the author world and I give you tutorials. So I went to Canva and I wanted to create myself a quote. And I just went into images and I found this quote. I liked it and I was like, you know what, I did this thing without coffee this morning. So I was like, I needed my coffee. So I was going to use this one. And then I changed the color to purple. And then I was like, you know what? It's my first day of summer vacation. Let me make this look like with a lot of the shells. Because yesterday I did a live stream and a metaphor really stood out to me when I was talking to people yesterday. And I was talking about the seashells. And I was like, you know, we got to sift through. We got to sift through to get the shells. And that kind of stayed with me. So I found that one and I chose this one as my backdrop. Because today is my first day of summer vacation. You guys know I'm a teacher. Yesterday was my last teacher work day, completed my end of the year checklist. Woo woo. Can we say thank you? Thank you, Jesus. Closed it out. Because it has been a phenomenally stressful experience. I cannot tell you how stressful it has been. And with me being a literacy coach, I've been coaching all my teachers, plus I've been working with my sweet babies, my students, trying to encourage them to stay invested in online learning. And so yesterday I knew as soon as 3 o'clock hit, I was like, whoa, this is it, guys. I've got, the whole summer ahead of me. How can I spend my summer? So I was planning on editing today. I was not planning on any of this blank page stuff. My author friends know what I mean by the blank page stuff. And because I don't plot things out, because I have no clue what's going to happen in a story, I honestly just sit in front of a blank page and I just go. I just type. And as soon as I wrote, today is my first day of summer vacation, I was actually going to put, join me with my editing, blah, blah, blah. I was going to do that. And all of a sudden it says, hello, blank page. And I went, oh my gosh. And I just threw my hands up. My husband is working behind me at the table. And he said, what is it? And I said, I think I'm going to start a new book today. And he was like, why don't you just work on your website? Yeah, that would be kind of smart. Yes, I'm a teacher. Yes. Yes, I do. I have my books online. I self-publish and I'm traditionally published. I'm a hybrid author. So yes, I teach English 1 and academic literacy. I work with the 9th graders. I also work with intervention. Yeah, I work at a high school. So I love middle grades because if I can connect with that reading level, with that audience of middle grades, then hopefully by the time they get to 9th grade, they are so excited about books. My reluctant readers, I can pull them back down to some really great middle grades experiences that they might have missed. So I can start getting them with that reading level and with, get them excited about books again. And so luckily my school has a public library. And so we have an opportunity to have books from all ranges. So juvenile fiction is often what I can start to hook my kids back into because they miss so much of their reading experience. And so, but middle grades is like a place for me. I love it. A Monster Calls in Beverly right here. I can just keep going, telling you all these middle grades books. Oh, hey, Ann. I'm glad to see you. So teacher vacation started today, and my husband was like, don't you just want to work on your website? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. I think I'm going to start a new book, and I'm not going to publish it until 2021. I will shop around with this one for, querying, trying to get the literary agent, but I've already got it in my mind. So what I do, I write more than I read. Now, I think you need to do a balance. I'm going to say, please do a balance. Please have reading goals too. And if you do the Libby app, please get a Libby app or Overdrive. Get your library app. I absolutely adore that I have a library app because I'm able to get so many books. And then if you also have Kindle Unlimited, it's like $9. Don't quote me on that. It's like $9 a month. You can get tons of books on Kindle Unlimited. But I really use my library card. My library app, I'm reading like crazy. Like, I have my favorites on my bookshelf back here. I could do a bookshelf tour one day. But yeah, I am constantly reading. You can go and look at my Goodreads and follow me on Goodreads or follow me on Instagram at Jen Lowry Writes, because every single time I read a book, I'm snapshotting it, taking pictures of it. And I write in the genre. I write in the genre that I'm currently writing in. And because I can write across, I'm a multi-genrealist, I try not to stray away from what I'm working on and what I'm reading. They need to pair up. Oh, I have a Libby app. Here, I'm going to go look for it for you, because I am so dedicated to getting you some books. Do you see this? The Libby app. Hi, I'm Libby. Libby, it's so nice to see you. And they have like, I've actually got Where the Crawdads Sing on my whole list, but it's like 2 weeks away. And now I'm going to have to change it because I'm not just reading for pleasure right now. Now I've got to go into reading about serial killers. Can't wait to tell you guys this story. So, yeah, so that's the thing. If you have Kindle, yeah, you have to look at the reviews and you have to like get recommendations from people. Like I read a lot of recommendations. And I go and I look at the Amazon bestsellers. I do a lot of that. Yeah, some of them are overpriced. Somebody wanted me to get their book today, and they were like, "Can you please buy my book?" And I went over it. I was like, "If it's KU," and it was like super expensive. I was like, "Dude, I'm sorry, can't do it." But I did get like this serial killer encyclopedia for free on Kindle Unlimited, and it's ranked really high. So some of them, yeah, you just got to go through it. You got to go through Kindle Unlimited. I got Kindle Unlimited because Nancy Nagel's books are on Kindle Unlimited, and she's going to be our keynote speaker for a writing conference that we're holding. And I wanted to read more of her books, and I did get the book that she's got on pre-order right now. It's coming out in September, so I bought that one, but I also wanted to read a ton more of her books and watch her Hallmark movies. So I'm doing that on the side as research too. And so I started with this quote, and I love visuals. I love images. And here's this quote, "Hello, blank page." And I said, well, doggy, I got me a new story. And I would really suggest that you guys make your own quote images. They're so easy to do. You can use Canva. Now, a company did contact me this week and is going to give me a premium just so I can try out their products and I can tell you guys all about it. And I am taking a webinar on Thursday. They're going to teach me like the ins and outs and the tricks to use their program. So that's cool. Hooray. But right now, I've got my Canva. I love Canva. So simple to use. So I would say start making yourself some quote images because you can get inspired just by looking through visuals and just by really just praying over that blank image. Like, God, what is something that I need to say today that can matter to someone else or a celebration for myself? This was my own little celebration. It was like I was celebrating my first day of summer vacation, and then a book is going to start. And so the first thing I do when I start to write a book is I pull up Google Docs. And I actually start working in Google Docs because I get beta readers all the time. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love biographies too. Like, yeah, the biographies for me, like you guys, if y'all want to put down some of your favorite, yes, I'm writing a thriller, and I sure am. Shocking, right? But some of my favorite biographies. Oh, you got it. Oh, you got to create your own. Like mine, I could talk about writing in Jesus all day. That's my quote. Another quote that I do is honor the blank page. Yeah, I knew you were going to come up with somebody. Okay. You just did that. You did her book review too. And Terry Blackstock. Yeah, come on. You can come up with your own quotes. And then you can start looking up quotes. And I bet you there's quotes from famous physicists out there. And because that's what you love, go out and just start Googling their quotes and make your own quote boards. And then you can fill up your Instagram pages with your favorite quotes. Quotes are quick generated things that you can do to just give yourself some motivation. And so I do that a lot. And Canva has just a wide variety of different images. Or you can go to Pixabay and download images that would relate to your quote and then upload them into Canva. And find yourself some quotes. Like the Mr. Rogers biographies, oh my gosh, I could hug them. And I gave one away. I was going and doing like a classroom to classroom jump around talk, and I got to go and get a new Mr. Rogers. But I'd already read it, and I was talking about my favorite books, and you can read biographies. And one of the kids just lit up. My mom loves Mr. Rogers. She would so love that book. And I went, here you go. Well, later, I was like, I just gave away my Mr. Rogers book, my hardback cover with the really pretty flap. And then I was like, Jesus, I know that Mama's going to love it from her baby. And I got all happy again. I had a moment, though. I had just a little moment. I love biographies, too. When I started really heavily getting back into reading again, I was going that route. But then I switched when I realized it was important for me to read within what I was writing. But hey, what you can do is when you're writing your books, you get your quotes from your famous physicist, and you can use those as topics, like right underneath your chapter titles, or you can integrate it into your work, into your writing, because people love quotes. And so I pulled up my doc after I made my quote. I pulled up my doc. Result confirmed, then you've made a measurement of results. Yes, that. See, now go take that and go put it on Canva. Go on and copy, pull up canva.com, paste that quote, and make yourself something really pretty. Get you a pretty image on the side and search. And then go share it out with all your people. Love it, love it. And you've just discovered it, and you've discovered Canva if you haven't before. That would be great for you to share out things you love. And so here I am going to the doc, and I'm going to tell you why I use this doc, because I beta read right away. And I know you probably think, what? Why do you do that? You're fresh in a page. Yes, it's a blank page, and I beta like right then. Because if I'm messing up, I need to know I'm messing up. I am not going to spend 250 pages on a story that nobody is going to like, that I can't hook someone in, that the characters are not believable and they want to fight for the characters. If I don't have my character motivations right, I need to know those things, because those are driving forces in a book. And so that's why I pull up this Google Doc right away. I will transfer it over into Word, because when you are self-publishing, you can't self-publish with this Google Doc. And I have my own templates that I've created thanks to watching YouTubers. I love AuthorTube, and they taught me how to create these beautiful templates. You can go watch Mandy Lynn and Bethany Adazada, and they actually show you step by step how to create book templates in Microsoft Word. And so I kind of like followed, their lead. And that DIY guy, I really like his stuff too. I can't even remember his name. Ain't that sad? I follow him though. I'll have to go look him up later. So I do start in the Google Doc. And the reason the Google Doc matters is because my aunt is my first beta reader. Now, she is my elder. She is a huge Nora Roberts fan. She's read every single book that lady has ever written. She reads every single book that I've ever written. So that means my aunt has read 20 of my books. And that lady knows my voice. She knows my author voice. When I beta read, it's important that I have people, to read things that they also know me and my voice. And they know they can get critical too with me. They know that they can give me great feedback, and they can say, look, this really isn't working, or, I really would suggest that you reconsider this, because they know that I can take constructive criticism. That comes from doctoral work. Being able to go through AQR, I can be able to take any kind of criticism on my writing. I'm thick like that. So it's really important for my beta readers to be people that I trust, that will give it to me straight. And so I have built a great support system for that. Yeah, that's where you've got to find things that work for you. So I find things that work for me with inspiration. And one started with that quote. Two, I'm in the middle of The Mentalist, and that can have something to do with this, y'all. Have you guys watched The Mentalist? I know Tish has. It's on Amazon Prime. There's 7 seasons. I'm warning you, the minute you start it, you're probably going to be binging it like me. But I absolutely love The Mentalist. I'm going to show it to you guys like really quick, because that might be where this inspiration is coming from. And then I'm going to tell you guys a secret about me. Do you see this? The Mentalist. Look, 2008. How did I miss this junk in my life? Like how? What was 2008? Look, 8.1 out of 10. I always look at ratings, and I always go to this website, IMDb, and I go to the parental guides, and I make sure if there's an episode that I need to fast forward or something. But I absolutely love these characters. I love them all. If you would ask me, like, who are my favorite characters on the show, I can tell you I love Teresa, Lisbon, and Patrick, Jane. I love their interplay with one another, her facial expressions, her cutting of her eyes, her little quibs. I love it. And I love how he thinks. I love his character. But guys, I love the whole cast. I love every one of them. I love the way Cho is so serious. I love how, like, Rigsby is just so, like, he's almost immature, childish in a oh my goodness way, but he's endearing and you love him. And I absolutely love the sweetness of Van Pelt. She just has this way about her. We figured out she was pregnant in this episode. Like, we pay attention that much. My husband was like, you know what? I think she's pregnant. She's not standing up. It's been a few episodes. Of course, we're Googling, and we find out she was, and we were so excited. We're like, oh, look, she's having a baby in real life, which is absolutely ridiculous because this was from 2008. Crime, drama, mystery. Guys, I'm telling you, The Mentalist is my show. Oh, good. Good for you, Anne. I'm very proud. That's how you make connections, Anne. So for me, you know, where does the inspiration come from? So I get to this blank page, and here I am with the serial killer. And I'm telling you also that, like, serial killer documentaries, I have seen hundreds of them. I have now, my nieces, they've read like tons of the books. I have one niece who is a cop. The other one is getting, she already has a business degree, but she's getting a degree in criminal justice. And she's reading. And speaking of, she just texted, yes, I like the tree. Streaming. I don't know. They're wanting to know if my clothes are done. Welcome to my life. It's washing clothes. Awesome. Okay, so my other people that I hang out with, they love serial killers too. So I have, yes. And he liked it plain. We're talking covers. We're talking book covers. Surround yourself by people that you can bounce off ideas with. I love The Good Doctor. I've watched every single one of them. Oh my gosh, I can hug you. Yes, The Good Doctor. You guys watch The Good Doctor if you have not. Yeah, that's what Solomon said. So my son critiques with me too. Said the same thing you did too, Tish, about the sky looking bloody. So, see, there you go. Oh, no, I don't hang out with serial killers. Oh, no. My friends at work also that I hang out with, they like serial killer documentaries. They read the books. One of my friends at work, she actually has a whole collection. I didn't mean that. I know, Tish. And so I'm like, I've always been kind of fascinated with cults and that whole serial killer stuff. And so for like free time, if I'm going to things, then I'm watching crime shows, CSI. I watched CSI Miami forever. And now I'm into The Mentalist in season 5. So maybe all of that is just coming to play here. I tried to write a cult book last summer and I deleted it. Then I had that whole talk about pen names. Yeah, I was like, no. Yeah, Criminal Minds. My son has watched it, and he told me there's like 12 seasons. My baby has watched Criminal Minds like so many times. He's probably went through it like 5 times. Binging it 5 times. And he likes it because of the serial killer angle too. And the profilers. So, for me, it's just maybe a natural thing. When I was talking about that cult book last year, it was from a true kind of cult stories that I was seeing. And I was like, no, this is too dark. I don't want my people to get a hold of this. If I'm writing for middle grades and YA, I really don't want to write this cult book and then they get their hands on it. So I deleted the book. I got up to chapter 11 and I actually deleted it. And I was at this really dark, disturbing scene. I should have never deleted it. I should have just kept it, but I just wanted to just release it and just purge it from my mind. And that's what I did. So now this summer that I've started this new book, I had the conversation with my nieces, with my son, with my writing community about pen names. And my son brought out an excellent point. And he was like, if you make the cover dark enough, if you make the title clear, oh, it's a show, and tell them about Criminal Minds. So, because I haven't watched that one, but Sam's watched it, my baby, and I think it's about the profilers. But so I forgot what I was talking about. I lost it. Oh my God, yes. I've been reading Goosebumps. We actually read Welcome to Hell House. Or Welcome to something house. Yeah, profilers. Yeah, I did a study about Goosebumps when I was doing middle grades, but I don't want my middle grades people to get it. And so my son was like, give them a cover and a title that their parents are going to say, okay, this is not one that you're going to read. Or if they're like me as a parent, I let my kids read whatever they want to choose, then they can have that wide gamut and they can go for it. And so I listened to my son and I was like, oh, I'm not going to do the serial killer. I'm not going to use a pen name. I'm not going to use Moody as a pen name. So now my character's last name is Moody. And that is a family name anyway. So on my mom's side. So I'm like, okay, this is perfect. I'm going to do this. So today I actually wrote chapter 1 and I'm extremely excited about it. Now I'm not going to go all gung-ho like I normally do when I write a book, because Anne knows this. I'll usually write like 6 to 7 chapters a day, because once I start writing a book, it's really hard for me to cut that off, and I go ahead and give myself a timeline. I want to finish this book in 14 days. I want to have this book done by the end of the month, or got to have this done before Christmas because it's a Christmas sweet romance. And I'm trying to push it out on a deadline, and I give myself these ridiculous deadlines. So I changed my strategy this year, because I'm not going to be able to publish anything right now because of my traditional publishing contract. And I have that book coming out August 18th. There is no rush. I can do a chapter a day if I want. Then I can go back after I've moved myself away from Bad to the Bone Club, my little middle grade horror comedy, and I can edit it some. And then I can go back. And so I'm going to just take this one easy. And I'm going to spend some time with my kids. My son's about to go off to college, and this is like our last summer hurrah. So we just got that ESO cookbook, and we're going to be making sweet rolls and all kinds of really cool recipes out of that Elder Scrolls book. And we're going to be having some really fun times in the house, watching movies together and hanging out and cooking and having a ball. So I'm not going to just sit in front of the screen all the time. I'm going to have to just, pace myself out. Yeah, my mom, she would not let me go in the room when they were watching Amityville Horror, and she would not let me watch The Exorcist. And I understood why later, because after I watched that movie, I had to sleep with a Bible under my pillow. That is no joke. So, yeah, I got you. Now, we used to do the Goosebumps after school. Do y'all remember, like, in the months of Halloween? Halloween's like my favorite holiday. And the month of Halloween, oh my gosh, yes, I've got two. My husband has three. Yes, I am 45. I'm going to be 45 this month, y'all. My birthday's the 28th. Y'all join me right here on the 28th because we're going to have my birthday party on stream. We're going to be partying in the house on stream. But so mark your calendars. I deserve to have a streaming birthday party. It's my first month streaming, and I'm so excited. This is like my second week streaming. I absolutely love Twitch. Yeah, we're celebrating, Tish. And all I want from you guys on my birthday is just for you to be here for me. And you guys can pray for me and be here for me. And we can just talk and hang out. So that's my birthday wish. Nothing else. Don't need a single gift. I have the gift of community and friendship. That's what I got. And so hopefully my shirt will come by then too from my t-shirt shop. And I'll be able to wear it. It says it's coming the week of my birthday. So hopefully that'll be cool. And you guys will get to see that creation. And yes, I could talk about Jesus and writing all day. The point of having quotes. The Conjuring movies. Oh my gosh. Those are my favorite. I'm sorry you couldn't sleep. You need to stay away from scary books and scary movies. I don't want you to have this pain. I took my kids to see Insidious, and my son punched himself in the eyeball. And he did like this, and he gave himself a black eye in the middle of the movie theater. That is a true story. Because he was trying to pull the blanket up over his head, and he just knocked himself. He's constantly knocking himself out. He cannot do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or kickboxing. We've already decided. We're going to do fitness walking and trail walking when that boy gets to 9th grade PE. Yeah, I'm not putting him in any kind of trained athletic sports. Yeah, I love that. I love the Conjuring movies. I think they're so well done. And some people gave like some critiques about The Nun. Like, I really like to engage in conversation about movies that I love, but then it doesn't sway me, because if I love it, I love it. Like, I love The Nun. And well, if you like the feeling of being scared, I don't want you to where you can't sleep though. Just pray it away and turn on some like really peaceful, relaxing piano sounds with the ocean in the background. Set yourself up. Yes. Well, ask Sharon for me what's her favorite scary movie, and I would love to know what she likes too. So we were talking serial killer movies today because as a part of research, I get to now go back and watch some serial killer movies. Yeah, thanks, Anne. So I love Frailty. I don't know if you guys have seen that one, but oh my gosh, it's got Matthew McConaughey in it. I don't know how I missed that one. My husband knew about it, and it gets such high ratings. You guys need, if you like scary stuff, if you like serial killer movies, that Frailty thing, ooh, it is a twist and a turn. And so I love Seven, and Seven is on Netflix. If you haven't seen Seven, I've watched that one multiple times, and I like that one because of the religious aspects with it too. And so I know that I'm going to pull some religious themes in this one. So my detective is going to be, she's going to have her faith, and she's going to start recognizing patterns that somebody else might not recognize, and that's why they give her the case. They're talking about so like, for example, I have 17 chapters in my middle grade horror comedy. So the 17th chapter, instead of always starting like in the first chapter and always going from the first, And you know how when you're editing something with fresh eyes, you're more focused in on it? And you always are starting at the beginning when you edit. He said, start at the last chapter. So I would be starting at chapter 17 and just reading it as a unit, just as that chapter, and then move to chapter 16 and read that one, and then go back to 15. And he said reading it that way will give you a different perspective, and you will start to see if you're missing something, if you've got holes. And I wanted to see if that was right. And I wanted to see if that method would work for me. And I said, hey, I've got plenty of time, because that middle grade horror comedy, I'm not going to release that until March of, so I'm doing The Fae of Averly. It's a middle grade fantasy. I'm doing that one in February of 2021. March of 2021 is this middle grade horror comedy, and April is going to be the serial killer book. I've already put it down on my calendar. So I've given myself like this really long calendar. So I was like, I can work backward. I can try that mess. I was going to see if it worked, because I'm always starting at the very beginning again. Like, how many times do we look at chapter 1? Like, really? So I'm thinking I'm going to do it that way the next time I walk into it. But I'm going to do that Kate DiCamillo trick, and I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to work on this new project and see how far I can get with it. And then I'll step back into the editing. And if I'm only going to do one chapter a day, then I have time to do that, plus do a backward edit. It's not like I'm going to be sitting here doing 7 chapters of this serial killer book like I was doing last summer. I was doing like 6 and 7 chapters a day and spending like 12 hours nonstop writing in a 12-hour, like, just to stop to eat and then go right back. I'm not going to do that, because, you know, Solomon's going off, and I want to be with my children, and I don't want to, and I've got to work on promoting Sweet Potato, the book that's coming out in August. I can't just put every bit of my energy into this one thing. And this summer, kids have got to come first, guys. Even though I wrote with them in the room while they watched their streamers, you know, while they played their video games. Oh, yay. Well, I was really happy to hang out with you today. And I'm here every day at 3 o'clock. So have a blessed one. And good luck on your homework. Yeah, so Anne, I was doing like way too long. But this year I'm not. Kate DiCamillo writes 2 pages a day. She doesn't go over 2 pages a day. She does 2 pages and she walks away. And then the next morning she starts with the edit of the pages she did the day before. And then she starts 2 new pages and she puts it up. And she is a prolific writer with over 30 books to her credit. I have a long career in this. I am not in a race. I have had to tell myself this, to slow myself down, to deliberately put a break on myself, so that way I could find more balance in my life. Because if not, I will allow that stuff to overtake me. And so I wrote my first chapter, which this first chapter is 927 words. And I'm going to go now, and I'm going to create a new Jamboard for it, because I love doing Jamboard. It's just something that, for me, it's a great organizational tool. And I'm on my docs, and there's my Jamboard. And so you can see my Jamboards, and I'm just going to click new. And this one is going to be the Sunday Killer. And I like the black. And now this is going to be chapter 1, 971. And of course, you know, this is like my intro chapter. Like, nothing new here, right? And there we go. And I want to put the day I started it, because that's something that I didn't do the last time. And I really want to kind of document this one a lot more, especially so when I'm talking to people, I can share with them kind of that date. Because a lot of people will ask me, well, how long did it take you to write that novel? And because I did a podcast, and I'm like, oh, I titled that, it took me so many days, or it took me, I actually can go back. I'm not going to remember that stuff unless you journal it somewhere. You're not going to remember it either. And that's a question that I get asked a lot. Like, how long did it take you to do this? Because I guess they're wanting to know how much time commitment. And so if I'm only just going to write a chapter a day, then we'll see. We'll see how many days it takes me to complete a first round draft. How many chapters it's going to be, I have no clue. But I already know that it's really important for me as a writer to do these steps on the first day that I start a book. It's one, go ahead and get the first chapter. Don't just say I'm going to write 500 words and stop. Like, I really want that first chapter done. No matter how bad it is, I want the first chapter done. Now, in this first chapter, I've already recognized a lot of things. I know the name of my serial killer. I know how many people he's killed. I also have found out where this setting is taking place because I did a next step today. I also know the last name of my detective, but I don't know her first name because, guys, my aunt is naming my character. And so I cannot wait to see. And here's what I told her. So she made it clear. So I emailed her first thing. And I said, okay, I've got this idea for a book. I'm going to write a serial killer book. Will you read it? And she said, if it's from the point of view of a serial killer, I'm sorry, baby, I'm not going to be able to read that. But if it's from the detective, I will read it. I said, well, it's from a female detective. I was kind of thinking about doing a switch POV, but then as soon as she said she could not read that, I pulled back and I'm not even going to consider it. It's gone. It's out of my mind. I pushed it away because my aunt is my greatest supporter. And so I was like, you know what? I want you to name it. I want you to name the MC. So when you read, she told me she was going to read it later on today. And I said, as soon as you read chapter 1, message me and tell me the name of the character because I have no clue what her name is. And I'm like, and she was like, well, I need to know, where is she from? Like, where is she from? And I said, she's from Asheville, North Carolina. That's where she's currently living right now. And she's from North Carolina. So you need to pick us our Southern name in there, I guess, if that's what she's looking at. So she wanted to know. And I guess that geographical location mattered to her. And so I gave that information to her. And I said, whatever name comes to you, good luck with it. So I'm excited to see the name of my character. And that way, in chapter 2 tomorrow, I can actually use her name in dialogue because chapter 1 has no dialogue. It's her talking to the reader. So I'm doing this one a little different. And as soon as I wrote it, I knew I needed the betas because that's my process. Your process can be you. Do you. I do me. This works for me. So I started sending it out. And I was like, hey, this is it. This is chapter 1. If you want to read it, you can. Here's the link. And I put it into the WWJs, which is my writing community. They can read with me as we go. So it is available with our WWJs. That's our private group. And so then afterwards, I needed to make a decision. I needed to know how old my MC was, because then that is going to give me my target population. I needed to know what her age was, even though I still don't know her name, and I have no description of her because my aunt is going to do that character profile. Then I need to know at least kind of a ballpark age range. So she is a promising young detective. Okay, but she's young. So that means that I would give her maybe 27. If she's 27, then that means she's new age. So I already need to know those kind of things. Offbeat is new age. A Magical Christmas Wedding is new age. And so here I go again, writing a new age book. Okay, I already know what my categories are going to be. It's going to be thriller. It's going to be a crime drama. And there is going to be a mystery because they're going to have to solve a murder. So I already know that the first one is the thriller. and the crime drama because of the serial killer aspect. I already know my dude's first name. His name is Marcus P. And so I now wrote chapter 1. I did not do this, though, the concept and the premise. I'm going to talk with you guys about this in a minute. So the first thing that I did was I did the quote. And then the quote led me to write chapter 1. So I opened up the blank page, and here it comes. Okay, and I will give you guys a look at the first line. This is my first draft now. I'll give you this. Okay, I'll read the first paragraph. From 2012 to 2019, 28 murders were attributed to the Sunday killer. Headlines read, "Beware the Sunday stroll, worship, and mayhem." Or, "Sunday killer leaves homicide task force seeking salvation." One for every season for 7 years was his MO. Nailing his victims upside down, death by crucifixion, was his preference of staging the bodies. And so that is my first paragraph. So I already told the reader how many there were, discovered. I told how he staged the bodies, what was his MO, and then that gives that hook in. Well, then we've got to find out, who is this person? Oh my gosh, this guy is a sick man. He's somebody, are they going to stop him? And so, yeah, Ann, if it's about that stuff that you did on Tish's stream, I saw all that this morning, and you texted me about it, how you did your breakthrough. I saw that one. So that one was the first paragraph. And the first paragraph to me has to really stand out. And that means that if somebody starts to read this one, because of the preview option in Amazon, they're going to see right away the kind of style this is going to be. And my son was like, parents can preview that stuff. They can look. People can do the look inside option. So that first chapter has to kind of give a little bit of that away. Also, the title has to give it away. And so, yes, Anne, that's so true. Writing is like that for me too. I love this. Anne said, I had this weird idea when I was younger, a picture taking a virtual journey a little every day. And that's what writing is like. We get to go on a trip. I'm about to take a trip to Asheville again. And I love the mountains of North Carolina. It's one of my favorite places to go. And so because I can't do a mountain trip, I'm going to probably be there. And because I can't go to the beach, Myrtle's Inlet is my favorite beach place. I'm probably going to go back in and read Bridges again. The book I wrote set in Myrtle's Inlet. So that way I can experience it again. Because writing is that experience for us. Especially when we're creating new worlds or fantasy worlds. Regardless, even our small town mysteries, Tish could even say, hey, she's creating a brand new town. So, like your Sweetwater, Anne. All right, so I got this. I made sure that the first chapter spoke serial killer, spoke the depth of it. This is not going to be like my sweet romance where my contemporary singer makes a change of heart, those kind of things. It's going to be a little different. However, because you can do that look inside and you can see the cover and you can read the blurb, then you'll say, okay, maybe this is what I want to read that Jennifer's writing. Or you can say, nah, this isn't for me. The same thing about the demon possession. I have a lot of people that won't read demons, and so the Teenage Exorcist is out. But then I've got some people that say, oh, demon possession, and she's got to save her sister. I'm down for that. I'm reading that Exorcist book. And so it's just your personal preference. But it's got to be clear. That genre has got to be clear. So that way your readers will know what to expect. And then you're setting up your categories in a way that is sending that clear signal. So I've already figured that stuff out, like right away. And I also make the cover because I always make my cover between chapter 1 and chapter 2. That doesn't mean that's going to be the final cover, but as soon as I finish chapter 1, I start making my covers. And I love this cover. Tish says, I love the cover. The cover is so cool to me. Absolutely love it. I made it on Canva. And I know I'm going to have to do the full spread and all of that for the paper bag. I'm not even worried about that right now. I just know that that cover pops for me. It works. And I needed a title. So the way I did my titles this time is I went to Google, and I typed in serial killer books fiction. My husband has this Dexter book. He was looking for it in the closet earlier. I've read Helter Skelter. I've read Silence of the Lambs. I've watched The Bone Collector. My niece loves Anne Rule. So I started looking at the way that these covers looked. What did I like about the covers? I've watched Kiss the Girls. I've watched Red Dragon, The Zodiac Killer. A lot of these have been made into movies. Some of them have symbols on them. Some of them have, see that one, it's dark, it's black with red. Some of them have, look at that one, Mindhunter, that red eyeball. And that one is the one that's on Netflix. And so I wanted to kind of see what was already out there. Would you use symbols or would you use, look at that one with the angel, evil at heart. And so I went and I started looking at covers just right on Google, and I started looking at names. And I knew that I wanted killer in the name, and I wanted the name of the killer. So that's why I decided, I was like, I'm going to go with the Sunday Killer. And I did some research. There is not a serial killer by that MO, by that name. And so my whole book is going to be built around that concept. So that idea came to me when I was looking at just random book titles and book covers. I did not know the name of the book right away. I knew it after I saw all those images. And so then I moved to Canva and I started playing around. And as you can see, my son was like, you need to make sure that when you have a cover, it shows everything. So I was like, I can do a murder weapon. I can do blood. I can do all of that. And then I got to make it look dark. And then my son was like, no, take off the cheesy elements. That's actually what he called them. And he was like, this is the one. And he was like, it's dark, it's red, and the title tells it all. And so I was like, okay, I even made this one, and I made this one, and they all are symbolic, and they all have a tree, and it's going to mean something in the book. And so you guys get to see it here first. My WWJs have already had it. I put it on the page earlier. But you guys are the first ones publicly to see it. And it's a Detective Moody mystery, The Sunday Killer. And there's that beautiful tree. I did some coloration on the tree image to make it pop like that. And there's the choice. So you can see kind of what I started with, just kind of some over-the-top stuff. And now it's that. Absolutely love this cover. And no matter how many covers that I made tons of them. I made tons of the covers. I kept deleting them because my son kept saying, go back to that one just with the plain tree. And then that was it. And it took me all of a good span of like maybe 20 minutes to make that cover. I pretty much know what I want in my mind. I can put it together quick. I don't spend tons of time on it because now I need to share it with people and I need to see like, what people think. So it's important to me to go ahead and include my writing group in my process. They're a part of my private tribe here. They're a part of that process with me. But I'm also letting my aunt know. I took screenshots of it with my phone. I'm sharing it out with my nieces who read all these serial killer books. And I'm getting their responses back. And I'm getting baby pictures of the twins at the same time. I'm hugging my phone. I like just the tree. Try it without the gun. Put maybe just the blood. But the sky kind of looks bloody anyway. Yes. There's my sweet baby, great nieces. Oh, they are so sweet. So sweet. Okay, sorry. I love baby pictures. I have not been able to see my baby nieces since coronavirus, except one time when they were in the NICU. And I didn't get to hold them because they were all put up and got to see them. So now I live through pictures. But that's where my other names of my characters came from. Whitley and Presley. They were in Offbeat. And so now I've got the new name coming. And I can't wait to see what my aunt's going to come up with. I know it's just going to be absolutely perfect. So I'm praying about that. I'm excited to see what she thinks. She's going to let me know as soon as she reads it. She's always right there with me. And so after I did all of that, I went back into the document and I said, what is my concept? Because I know it sounds crazy to write the blurb this early. And I know the blurb gives people sometimes a really hard go. So I like to try to just throw out whatever comes to my mind without me even thinking about it. Because I don't plot, I really don't know like what's going to happen. So this blurb could change 8,000 times, okay? So I'm not saying this is the one that is, this concept is going to come off the back of the book, but I'm thinking right now, this led me to a lot of things. And so the concept is I needed to have questions because that's the way that I work myself. I work questions. So I'm going to read the concept. What if prolific serial killer Marcus Pugh was still roaming Sunday afternoons? How many victims would succumb to his religious fanaticism before Detective Moody compiles enough evidence to solve the case? How far will she have to go to catch him? And who is truly the prey? Is it Pugh himself, Detective Moody, or victim number 28? And then the premise. A promising young detective must lead a team of seasoned investigators to uncover a string of unsolved murders terrorizing a small town in one of the most harrowing serial killer cases ever recorded in North Carolina history. And so that let me know, of course, all my books pretty much set in North Carolina, except the Merle's Inlet and Pawleys Island ones. All the rest of mine are pretty much North Carolina. And then that let me know that her age was young. She has a team of seasoned investigators around her. So there could be issues there. That could be some conflict around that. There's a small town, so there's a lot of mystery behind how can somebody do this in a town that everybody should know everybody. And so all of this started working itself out in my brain, and I started connecting huge plot dots. Okay, this alone, just doing the concepts with the questions. These are like concept questions. That's what I'm going to call this. Like, don't tell me if this is right or wrong. This is my way. I don't know. It could be wrong, but this is what helps me. And so, like, how many more would there be? Like, how many deaths would there be if he wouldn't be stopped? And how far will she have to go? Like, is she going to have to compromise? Like, what is it that she's going to have to face as the main character when she's fighting this antagonist? And so as soon as I saw this one and Who is Truly the Prey, I was like, I know exactly where this book is going, and it really solidified it in my mind. So if you have trouble starting off a book, starting off ideas, you can take what I did today in the span of about 2 hours. That's how long it took me to start this process. And I hope that by me talking with you step by step and kind of showing you the way, the way that I do things, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But my goal is to write a chapter a day. And if you guys caught something, if you've got in this first paragraph, I already told you how many murders there are. There are 28 murders. Guess where I'm going? How many of you can guess that? I already have the work done. If there's 28 murders, then I need 30 chapters. So my intro is this one. Yep. No, I'm going to, so if there's, yeah. So let me show you my thing. So you see 28 murders. So what I'm going to do is this one is my chapter 1. Then I'm going to have 28, one for each murder. And then 29 is my close up. So right now, I'm thinking I'm going to do 30 chapters. And so that's going to reveal itself over time. But organizationally, the way that I could work that, and I say in chapter 1, it's to speak the name of the victims. So I'm thinking that I'm going to have that. Now, like Ann said, it could be a bit longer, but I don't normally write extremely long books. Now, Sweet Potato Jones is the longest book that I've published, and the traditional publisher, with proper editing and all of the rounds of edits that we did, we still moved it to 90,000 words. But I will tell you, most of my books that I write are between 55 and 65,000 words. And I am completely satisfied with that. And that's the range that I would want for this book. But I'm thinking 30 chapters. 1, I like that. 3. Yeah, that's my word count. I do not like things that are extremely long myself. Yeah, I'm not going to go there though, Anne. So I'm self-publishing. I can kind of go off the grain a little bit. I'm not, if I do try to query this out and they say, no, it's too short, then, and they want it and they want to help me expand it and they're going to pick me up in an agency representation, of course I would, look to running it a little bit longer. But I like that kind of word count. When I look at books, I'm just like a kid. Like, honestly, guys, I'll be like, how many pages is this again? How much time is it going to take me to read this thing? And I know I make exceptions because Harry Potter is like extremely long and Tolkien is extremely long. And I know I make exceptions. But I prefer quick reads. Like, I just prefer that. And I know what's big right now. I'm going to show you guys. I was looking at some of these novellas before because I have a friend of mine who is wanting to write a novella. She's done her first draft and she wanted some advice about it. And I was seeing that there are a lot of big authors that are going that way and are working some novellas. And so thriller novella word count, even if it gets to like the word count, thrillers tend to be 70 to 90,000 words. So if I'm at 55 to 65,000 words, then I'm close to that 70,000. And then novella word counts. So they are under like the 40,000 words. I mean, even if I get to that, and if it is a short book like that, I'll just cut the price. I'll have total control over all of that. But I'm looking, my goal is to get it close to I can to 55 to 65,000 words. So I'm close to this 70,000 word count. Yeah, I don't like pushing the envelope with the word count and making it way, way longer than it needs to be. I want this one to be fast-paced. I don't want to do tons and tons of like world building and things like that. I don't need to. It's set in Asheville. I do talk a little bit about description and setting and things like that in my book, but I want it to read fast. And so that's my goal. And I think it's really good for us to have goals and to set our own word count goals. That can help us as we're pushing through to see if we're going to hit the target that we are trying to hit. So I use those kind of word count goals as an indication for me, is my book healthy right now? Am I doing enough? Because at Bad to the Bone, that middle grade, I was not doing enough. It was at 17,000 after an edit, and I knew it needed to go further. And so I hit that 23,000 mark, and I got that big check off. I got that green light, because that is a better bet for me in middle grades, that 23,000. And so if I can move myself from 55 to 65,000 and get it in that range, I'm going to feel really good, especially for my first draft. So that's my goal, and I'm going to keep up with it on Jamboard. I showed you guys my Jamboard. I'm going to go ahead and make a sticky note, and I am going to turn it green, and I am going to say my goal, my word count goal is 55,000, 65,000. And then I'm going to put in parentheses 70,000 to 90,000 recommended in thriller. But I don't want to push this book there. I want to push it to close to 65,000. And so in order for me to do that, so then what I do, and I know this is kind of a little technical, but I don't have to stick to this exactly, but this gives me like a really good indicator of like my mindset, like what I need to do, what work do I need to do. So let's say if I'm trying to get 65,000 words, I'm going to divide it by 30 chapters. That means my chapters need to be 2,000 words. And as we know, sometimes having a 2,000 word chapter, that is nothing for us. We can pop those out. 2,000 words a chapter. Yeah. And then if I get a chapter that is a little short, like this introduction chapter, then I may have to make a couple a little longer, or because it's that first draft, I can go in and I can fix that. And so let me do my 60,000 word count divided by 30 chapters. That's still 2,000. Let's see. So I'm going to do 55,000 words divided by 30, 1,800 words. And it can go up and down. And so I'm just going to honor the page, and I'm going to see where it goes. But like you guys said, it could be a bit longer. So, Anne, we'll just wait and see. The good news is that I can go with the flow of this stuff, and I can just develop it as it goes. But I do know that I want a chapter per murder, and how those pieces from that chapter build and connect with one another. So I want like each chapter to have this tie-in. So it's like a single story, but it also helps aid for another clue. And so I've already kind of thought that through, the way that I want to set those files up, the way I want to set each chapter up. So I might be doing something a little bit different. And if it turns out to be a novella, then there is a huge market for short reads. And there's actual categories. I don't know if you guys know, but there are categories that say short reads, 45-minute short reads. And I could just strictly run this one through KU and draft a digital and maybe do a KU. I've been my stepdaughter, my stepdaughter has been reading a lot of thrillers, and she's been getting a lot of them from like the top writers that are in this little short reads category. And so if I keep pushing this thing, and let's say I do 30 chapters and there are 1,000 chapter, 1,500 chapters, and I'm way under the word count, I am so open to doing my first novella. I've never done one before. Why not? One of my friends was like, hey, I'm thinking about writing this novella. What do you know about it? And I was like, can't tell you anything about it. Let's start researching together. And then we were looking them up, and I was adding them from KU, and I was checking them out. So I'm not going to say that not might be what this one is. All I know is I've got between now and on my calendar, it says April 2021 to figure all that out. I'm just going to work a chapter a day. And I know you guys participate in Nano. So with Nano, I don't know how many words are you writing a day, but you guys have goals like that too, don't you? When you guys are in that month Nano stuff, I think y'all do the goals. And people write like a book a month. I would love to get this done in 30 days. It would be so cool. By the end of July, having this book done. And I mean this book done, meaning first draft done. But I know the Nano, I'm going to go in and look up like Nano, because so you kind of for Camp Nano, you set your own goals. So it's a 50,000 word. Yeah, so you're close to writing a novel there. A required is less than 2,000 words a day. Do you usually hit that 2,000 word a day? Because when I am in the zone, last summer I was hitting like 4,000 to 5,000 words a day because I was spending like 12 hours doing it. I'm not doing that this year though. The 2,000 word goal. Yeah, the daily goal. That's me too, Tish. When I saw that I only needed like 2,000 words per chapter, I was like, I got this. I'm used to 1667 is a goal. That's like random. That's a random number. Let's do 1667 a day. Yeah, don't get stressed about the goals. The goals are there to kind of motivate you and to keep you going. Wow, 1667. Is there a reason why they chose that number? Like, wow. So if you do 1667, okay, I'm going to my calculator again. I feel like such a math student right now. 1667 times 30. 50,010. That's what they did. That's what they did. Yeah, I see that, Tish. I had to do a calculator. I'm like, calculator. Like, yeah, I got it. Makes sense. Yeah. But if I could do 2,000 words a day, then I could push myself in 30 days to have that 60,000. Oh, yeah, The Great Gatsby, which is read in 11th grade everywhere. Let's see what the word count. The word count of The Great Gatsby. I love that Anne knows like the history behind stuff. The Great Gatsby is 47,000 words. This slim is regularly cited as the best American novel ever written. 47,000 words. And that's why when I first started talking about my goals, 55 to 65. That's my range. That's kind of like where I like to live. And if it reaches outside of like what the norm is, or if it's inside it, I'm good with it. I want my readers to have a complete novel. That's what I want. So if they read a complete novel, so let me go, and you're probably gonna laugh at me, but I forgot, and you can remember like the craziest amount of numbers and things. I'm gonna pull up Offbeat because I actually can't remember the word count for Offbeat. I love Offbeat because it's such a complete picture for me. I love it so much. It's going through ACX right now. Love that Abigail is reading. Okay, so I'm pulling up the word count. Okay, Offbeat. It's New Age, that's what I'm going for right now. So it's 44,942. I'm going to write that down because 44,942 because I was going to forget that. Oh, I put 43. Doggone it. Okay, hold on. I wrote that in the chat just so I could look at it. 44,943. And if I'm going to divide that by 30, then it's 1498. Yeah, but I did, so novellas was 17,000 to 39,000 words. So the range that I got for novella was up to 39,000. So yeah, my contemporary sweet romance was 45,000, right at 45,000 words. I was completely happy with that sweet romance. Completely loved that story. There was no room to grow it, no room to push it. It just was it. And when I got to the end of that baby, I was so excited. I cried my eyes out and I said, Offbeat is complete. And then I looked at the word count and I was happy with it. And that's the same way that I'm going to do with this one. But I am going to chart it out on Jamboard. And I'm going to look and see what that's going to look like across the line. Am I going to be doing my color coding technique? Yes, because I loved it. I really love doing the color coding technique. I love doing the outline on Jamboard. I think it's really cool to write the chapter and then go back and have that outline. Because if I do that same strategy where I walk back into this novel and rewrite the whole thing, I already have that done. I already have that outline done this time. So I'm going to do it as I go. When I did Bad to the Bone, I didn't do any of that until after I wrote the entire book. And then I went back in and I counted each chapter for word count. And I did a title of the chapter. And I did also a description of the chapter with like one sentence or like little, just little blurbs for each sticky note. I'm going to play it smart this time. I'm not going to go back and do all that work. I'm going to do it as I go. Because I really like looking at that Jamboard. I would start that Jamboard every single day. And I would look at that and it would kind of get me centered of where I needed to be. And I had a bookmark. I used a bookmark to go across so my eyes could track it really fast. And I could say, yep, I'm going with it. I know The Great Gatsby is 47,000 words and it's not considered a novella. It's considered a novel. And so I'm not going to get like really caught up. I think that if you can pull 55 to 65,000 words and then the thriller is right there, I think I'll be good. I think it'll be healthy. And it'll be able to stand up. It'll have some legs on Amazon, if you want to think of it that way. So that's what I've been up to today. And we have talked for an hour and 30 minutes almost. My hour-long streams pushed over today, but I was really glad to show you guys a part of my process. I love learning about how other authors do their thing and, what inspires them, what motivates them. I know I love looking at titles. I love looking at the top books. I went on Twitter today and I was like, do you guys have serial killer book recommendations? And then I started working, already trying to get beta readers set up. I'm already in the process of, that book cover. And that's what motivates me, really, the book cover. There is never the right time or the wrong time to start playing around with images. I just always do it after chapter 1. And now the symbolism on that book, that matters. And I already know clues. That already gave me clues of what was coming next. And I was like, wow, if I wouldn't have spent that time, looking for dark images today, then I would not have got that next idea planted in my mind. So sometimes if you get stuck, maybe talking book covers could be a way that could help unstick you. And you can do it like me after chapter 1 and just go ahead and get that out of the way and have you a preliminary book cover spread that you've just played around with yourself. And then if you need to go professional, then that's fine too. But you have like an idea in your mind of like how it's going to look, and you can keep going back to it because now I have it in my phone and now I'm able to go and kind of look at it, and it can give me that motivation I need. And I can start by looking at that book cover every day. I've even found a picture of my serial killer. So, going back and looking at that and looking at his costume, that can help get me going to get to that next part of the book that might be just waiting to come out. And we'll see. We'll see if this one turns out even to be a book. It could be a short story for all I know. But I'm thinking it's going to be this crime thriller. And I'm excited to try something new. I'm learning as I go. And so I do know the structures and all of that in place for thrillers. I have taught, this kind of mystery, tension, and suspense at the high school level. I'm looking up how to break down novels. And so hopefully a lot of that's going to come into play for me. And I'm going to be able to step into this role and do this one some justice. So we'll see. So I'm glad you guys got to hang out with me today and love you guys. I hope y'all have fun at the chat today. And I'll talk with you guys later.